welcome to Above Replacement Radio. I am your host, Chris Gianta. You know what Christy Mathewson wasn't worried about? SIERA. When you're thinking about Pedro Ciriaco, I mean, the only one that can compete is maybe Hannes Wagner's 1908 season. Over there on the other side of the screen is Daniel Kern.
Like, if we just clip together every time we've talked about him on other people's profiles, we've done a Mickey Cochran episode.
I can't get past Rabbit Marinville. It's not necessarily Hall of Fame. It's not necessarily above average, but we can guarantee you we are better than just the standard replacement level college sophomore.
And welcome to Above Replacement Radio, where we're talking baseball, kind of whenever. I am your host, Chris Gianta. Over there across from me, as you cannot see on YouTube, unfortunately, is Daniel Kern. How you doing, Daniel?
Chris, I am doing very well today. We had some baseball happen.
Yeah, there was Tuesday and Wednesday. Big developing news. Baseball was played.
Yeah, it was. They said it wouldn't happen.
Yeah, you know.
Except that'll be an actual storyline next year.
Actually, yes. That's unfortunate.
They really thought it wouldn't happen.
Yeah.
Who knows? Who knows?
Who knows? Yeah, that joke would be a lot more serious next year and last year.
And last year, yeah. This is the one year where it's like, well, there's going to be baseball.
Yeah. Thank God.
Who knows about 2020 and 2022? But 2021, you got yourself some baseball.
Yeah, thank
God. You got
God.
162. You got the playoffs. It's happening. You got a little spring training.
Yeah, thank goodness for that. We got full stadiums back, but there's maybe no one in the stands and no games played.
Nope.
Next year, I don't know.
Who knows?
We'll talk about that more, hopefully, with some people that know more about it.
Yeah.
So baseball was played. We previewed the World Series last episode. So what I'll say is, like, when I gave the prediction of Astros in 6, I had no analysis to it whatsoever because I was like, these playoffs are random. This is just going to be a random series.
Yep.
And I feel like the first two games just kind of implicated that. Just random stuff going on.
It was a very, both games were one-sided.
Yeah. From
the
first 3 innings on.
Yeah, I mean, there wasn't really too many storylines that developed. I feel like we didn't really learn that much from either of these two games.
Yeah, no.
Except for, Max Fried, he's struggled in his last couple games.
Yeah, and Charlie Morton is pretty nuts.
And Charlie Morton is cool. That was probably the best part of either game.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of...
Well, it wasn't the best part. It was the coolest part.
It was the coolest part, and then it's like, oh, wait, the Braves are going to need a Game 5 starter.
Yep.
Yikes. Really tough position that they are put in. But, I mean, we'll get into the cool part of the story because, I mean, I feel like that was the biggest story of Game 1. Not that the Braves won 6-2.
Not that they scored. Not that they only allowed Framber Valdez to have 4 ground balls, which is the lowest amount he's had in any start this year.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. I mean, I talked about on last show, the Braves had a 13-degree launch angle against lefties this season. That was one of the highest in the majors. I wasn't sure if they were going to be able to sustain that against Framber Valdez, the ground ball pitcher to end all ground ball pitchers, and they did.
Yeah.
I mean, they took advantage of some mistakes, certainly, but...
From the third pitch of the game on.
Yeah.
From the first swing on.
Literally, because it was 2-0.
Yeah, first swing was a homer. But before we get into that, I mean, I guess, it was already 3-0 at this point, and then eventually 5-0 because he went out again. Charlie Morton takes a comebacker that was hit 106 miles per hour. If I go back, I looked at it earlier. 102.4 mile per hour ground ball on the exit velocity at a negative 6-degree launch angle, but he was less than 60 feet away, given that he was ahead of the rubber. So he took it on the left leg, and it bounced to first base. Freddie Freeman takes it, and he touches first base, and it's like, oh, Charlie Morton got hit, but he looks like he's walking around okay. No big deal made about it. So afterwards, he gets Chas McCormick to strike out swinging, and then he induces a line out where Maldonado got BABIP'd a little bit, and then we see the Braves get 2 more runs, and then it's the bottom of the third. Charlie Morton's still out there. Absolutely no one is thinking about the comebacker that happened the inning before. And he strikes out Jose Altuve looking on a fantastic curveball, by the way. Just dropped in right at the knees. And unfortunately, we see him grimace. We see him favor that left side after he lands and follows through. And it's like, and it's funny that you can see the corporatization of professional sports, and it's easier to identify in sports broadcasting now that we're taking a class. But it immediately goes to like an FTX ad.
Yep.
After Morton is like grimacing with his left leg, it's still like, we got to get the sponsor in. So we see that, and then right after that, we see the trainers coming out because everyone watching at home was like, Morton doesn't look right. So it's like, all right, well, he's injured. That sucks. I guess they're already up 5-0. And then how much later was it? Like 30 minutes?
Yeah, something like that. He comes back out for the next inning.
No.
Over Minter?
No, not when Minter came in, but when the news dropped
Maybe like 45 minutes to an hour?
Yeah, like an hour later on Twitter, the Atlanta Braves announce he has a broken or a fractured, was it fibula or tibia?
I think it was a fibula.
Okay,
Yeah.
Fractured fibula, and he will be out for the remainder of the season. And everyone's like, everyone's first thought, I don't know what everyone's first thought was. Mine was like, dang, that sucks for the Braves. And then it's like, oh wait, he threw 16 pitches.
Yeah.
With just a fractured leg, like it was no problem, and he got 3 outs. He didn't allow anyone on base.
Pretty crazy.
And he threw like the same velocity. It's nuts. I don't know. What was your reaction?
I mean, my reaction was that wasn't it the fastest pitch he threw all night? Am I wrong on that?
When it
happened.
Not the one that ended
in that inning.
In that at bat, I think.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah,
he had his like I mentioned last night. He had his Greg Jennings moment.
Yeah.
He put the team on his back.
Yeah. For those unaware, just
if you're unaware, you're too young to be listening to this show.
Yeah, look up.
You need to be aware.
Look up YouTube, or go on YouTube and look up Greg Jennings. It'll be the first thing that shows up. Super Bowl champion, one of the best wide receivers in Packers history, but
the highlight of his career was when he put the team on his back.
It was a Madden 08 highlight.
Yep.
But it was like that in real life with Charlie Morton. He had a fractured leg, and he's out there just getting strikeouts. He struck out 2 of the 3 batters he faced after that happened.
Yeah, and it was Jose Siri, was it Siri? McCormick. Chas McCormick, Martin Maldonado, and Jose Altuve, which, I mean, a lot of people were like, dude, I could strike out Martin Maldonado on a broken leg. Which was funny.
Yeah, that is funny. That is funny.
Yeah. One takeaway that I had, that game had 18 batted balls hit above 100 miles an hour between the two teams.
Wow.
I'm checking, and I think that's the most in any World Series game since we started tracking this. I could be wrong, though, because I don't know for sure.
There's potential there.
I think it is. I'm not seeing the Nationals anywhere on this list, so it can't be 2019, 2020.
Yeah, but that's just the StatCast era. I'm pretty sure Game 4 of the 1946 World Series, we were seeing some 100-mile-an-hours.
Absolutely.
We saw 25.
Who played in that game again? Oh, it was Red Sox and Cardinals.
Yeah, it was Williams and Musial.
Oh yeah, Ted Williams. He definitely hit one.
Ted Williams got BABIP'd in that series.
Yeah, he did.
Probably. I don't know.
He lost.
Yeah, he lost and did not have a.
The Astros had 10 balls hit above 100 miles an hour in that game, and the the Braves had 8.
Wow.
That is pretty crazy.
That's pretty nuts.
Oh, Game 6 of the 2016 World Series also at 18 between the two teams.
That was when the Cubs won 9-3.
It was. That was when Addison Russell hit a grand slam. That was when the Cubs had 10 of such batted balls. The Cleveland Baseball Club had 8.
I watched that game at 5 in the morning because I was for some reason I was in a routine of wanting to go to bed earlier and watching the World Series games or playoff games in the morning before school.
Right.
So I woke up at like 4 a.m., made myself breakfast, and then I was able to skip commercials, and I watched that happen. While I was eating oatmeal or something.
See, I could never do that. A, because I would be so tempted to go on my phone during the game, and thus I would go on Twitter and see who won. Secondly, like if you're skipping commercials, you can see like how much time is left in the recording,
Yeah, that is true.
which is a problem because it's like I don't know. What if the Cubs are up 1 in the bottom of the 9th inning, and it's like, oh well, there's 12 minutes left, so obviously they won.
Yeah. I don't know. I was just like super tired, and
Yeah.
I feel like all during high school I was just undersleeping, which I guess waking up at 4 a.m. didn't help.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just wanted to it was only those playoffs too where that happened. I have no idea why. But that's my memory of it is just pitch black. No one else in the house was awake. and I'm like, oh wow, 4 runs right there.
Huh.
Looks like the Cubs are going to win this game. I got Arrieta on the mound.
Wow.
They're in good hands.
41.7% of the Astros batted balls in Game 1 were 100 miles an hour. That is the highest percentage of any team in the World Series, dating back to 2015.
I'll get the button out for that one.
All right, we'll get the button out for that one. The Braves had the 18th highest.
Interesting. So, just some 100-mile-an-hour scorchers by Houston, and that was Game 1.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah, that was the game where they scored 2 runs, not the game where they scored 7.
Yeah.
How many of them were hits? Let me see.
Of the 10.
A decent amount. Let's see. How many was there? There was 20. Okay, there was 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 6 of them were hits, 4 of them were outs. But the 4 outs had launch angles of 2 degrees, -6 degrees, -11 degrees, and -20 degrees. So it all makes sense.
Yes, it does. So yeah, Charlie Morton had a crazy story. He'll be immortalized for that forever.
Yep.
But you can't reject the implications that it has because now the Braves are down a starter.
Mhm.
And I have no idea what they're gonna do.
I don't either. Drew Smiley's probably gonna start a game at some point.
Yeah.
He might start Game 5. He pitched in relief last night.
Because there's already a question mark of what they do Game 4.
They had they had Tucker Davidson replace Morton as the replacement on the roster. That's not I don't know if that's someone who you're throwing out there to go 5.
I'll be honest, I've never heard of the guy.
Really?
No.
Okay, he's a left-handed pitcher. He pitched 1 2/3 in. He was a prospect, like a pretty good prospect, I believe. Let me check his prospect rankings. No, I guess he was never top 100. I thought he had some sort of hype, whatever. But anyway, 2020 he threw an inning and 2/3, didn't really count. 2021 he threw 20 innings pitched, had a 1.25 ERA plus. Had some home run problems, but other than that, pretty good on the FIP stuff. 18 strikeouts in 20 innings, 8 walks, which isn't great, but yeah.
Yeah.
Still, I mean, that's not, you can't expect that guy to go out and beat Charlie Morton.
Yeah, definitely not. Yeah, it sucks. And I was looking at some Charlie Morton stats, and in his last 10 playoff starts, he had a 2.51 ERA. Like that's someone that you're gonna miss in that.
It's the guy you want on your playoff roster. The Braves signed Charlie Morton to a 1-year deal in November specifically for those games.
Exactly.
And now they don't have him.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Yeah, I mean, yeah, he wasn't. This edition wasn't for the regular season. It was definitely, it was partially regular season. It helped them out.
But that's not But that's not what they were thinking when they signed the paper.
Definitely not. So, yeah, that is disappointing. We'll see how that develops over the course of the series and how the Braves are going to manage their pieces. But the other story of the game was Braves offense came out swinging early and set the tone of the game, and it was never really in the Astros' control.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. They scored 5 runs in 3 innings,
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah, that game it was quickly settled.
Yeah.
And the bullpen usage was very good. After Charlie Morton obviously came out unexpectedly, I think it was Minter who pitched 2 2/3 in relief, and then Luke Jackson who came back from his Dodgers series had a very good outing, and then it was Tyler Motzik and then Will Smith. I mean, like there was your best 4 relievers. And they all
Yeah.
just locked it down.
Yeah, I don't think that was talked about enough either as you bring that up because they went 6 2/3, 2 runs allowed
Yeah, that's great.
against a very good Astros lineup.
The Braves bullpen as a whole, like they really stepped it up this postseason.
Yeah, exactly.
Regardless of what happens from here,
Yeah, it's,
like that is a large reason as to why we're talking about them today.
the only complaint you could have is like Luke Jackson.
Yeah, but I mean he was still great in game 1,
Yeah, he was, for sure.
and also Tyler Motzik bailed him out that one time.
Yep, he did. So it didn't end up hurting them too much. So just right out of the gate, as we mentioned, Jorge Solaire takes a sinker up and in, which we got to explain the Jorge Solaire up and in thing, because first at bat of the playoffs for the Braves Brewers series, it's Burns versus Solaire, and for 7 consecutive pitches, I'm pretty sure, it was down and away.
Yep.
Set up down and away every single time. Didn't matter if it was a cutter or a four-seamer or a curveball or a slider. It was down and away every single time. And then the one time someone missed in the 3rd inning, it was hit to the warning track. So I guess the scouting report is go down and away on Jorge Solaire.
So we looked at all his like zone data, and they're absolutely right.
Yeah, they're completely correct. So then game 1, first step out of the World Series. Solaire's up. It's 2-0. Framber Valdez throws a sinker, hangs a sinker, up and in. That's not down and away.
No.
It's up and in. And Solaire hits it 105 miles per hour into the Crawford boxes. And it's 1-0 Braves out of the gate. And I don't know. Was that like one of the first leadoff home runs?
It was the first leadoff home run in World Series history by the top of the first, because Chris Taylor hit one in 2017, but he was on the home team.
Right. Oh, yeah, that's true. So, yeah, top of the first, got it going. First guy to ever do that. So yeah, that set the tone a little bit. So it was 1-0 after that, and then Ozzie Albies got basically a swinging bunt. I'm pretty sure that got him to first base. Then he stole second base. Everyone was really happy about that, not for baseball reasons, but for taco reasons.
Yep.
And then Austin Riley drives him in with a double, and it's 2-0. And then in the top of the second, the Braves are able to get runners on base immediately again with 2 singles from Travis d'Arnaud and Jock Peterson. And then Dansby Swanson hits a fly ball to deep center field. Both runners tag, and then Jorge Solaire gets just an RBI ground out to make it 3-0. And then top of the third, we get an Eddie Rosario single and an Adam Duvall home run, and that's it for Framber Valdez.
Yep.
So I mean, certainly the Braves were doing something much differently than the Red Sox.
I mean, they were also getting lucked out like
A little bit.
So Framber Valdez had a 600 BABIP against. That was the highest of any start he's had this year. And I don't think there was like a correlation between exit velocity or anything. I think that was right where it normally is. He gave up 4 ground balls. 3 of them ended up being hits. That is not something you can ever expect. That's not something you would think would happen. But that is just what happened. And obviously, the mislocation. If you go back and look at the home runs, and even the double by Austin Riley, that was a 3-0 pitch right down the middle. Solaire, like you mentioned, he threw him up and in. The other one was, who hit the other home run?
Duvall.
Duvall, yeah. That was hanging in the strike zone. That's not what you want.
Yeah, definitely not. So there were some mistakes being made, but luck luck does play a factor.
Yeah.
And yeah, thinking about it now, I guess Valdez only gave up one more home run than he did against the Red Sox, as Devers was able to get him.
That's true.
So yeah, Valdez gives up 5 runs in 2 innings. The Braves bullpen, and basically from there on, it's just Braves bullpen is able to ride it out, and that's it. That's the story of the game, really.
Yeah. Remember Valdez's start against the Red Sox was literally the highest exit velocity he's given up all year. That is a joke. That is an absolute joke. 89.8 miles per hour. That is the highest average exit velocity he had all year.
Wow.
Yeah. And he had a 105 BABIP against. Was that the second lowest? No, it wasn't. It was the third lowest.
Wow, that's something.
That is spectacular. I love that.
Gotta love batted balls in play. So yeah, game 1, Braves win. Looking good for the Braves. They got Max Fried the next day. We know Max Fried has a pretty good playoff history. And he had one bad start against the Dodgers, but he had one good start against the Dodgers to go along with that. And then it's in the as I'm trying to remember, the Braves scored one in the first inning, right? Or was it just the second?
The Braves.
No. Okay, I remember.
Yeah, they scored in the second because they tied it up.
Yeah, they answered back.
It was the home run by Darno.
Yep. And then as we go to next game, the Astros were able to get 1 run in the first. If I'm remembering correctly, I thought they may have left some guys on base. No, it was just double. It was just double and then moving the guy around is what happened. And then Darno home run. And then the main event, the main thing that happened in the game was the second inning, where we see some a little bit of BABIPery, but some hard line drives.
Yeah.
That's what you need for a big inning, is some hard hit line drives, and sometimes you got to have things go your way. I guess I should look at the data for yesterday's game, at least in the second inning, as we look up Fried. So in the second inning, I believe he strikes out the first batter he faces. Yeah, he struck out Carlos Correa. Then base hit by Kyle Tucker, 94.4 miles per hour, 9 degrees. That's a line drive. That's an expected batting average of 610. Then Yuli Gurriel, another single. That one was a little less expected to happen, 310 expected batting average. Then either a swinging bunt, or I don't know if it was an actual bunt. It may have been. I'm not sure. But it was hit 51.5 miles per hour, and it had a projected distance of 3 feet. Had a 290 expected batting average, and that scored a run. And then after that, Martin Maldonado comes up. Not the best offensive history. He hits a ground ball, 0-degree launch angle, and 89.1 miles per hour with a 230 expected batting average. But it gets through the hole, and he adds another run, or he adds 2 more runs because there was an advancement on a throwing error by the left fielder, and that made it 4-1. And then to top it all off, Michael Brantley came in, and he had a hard hit line drive to drive in a run, make it 5-1. And then from then on, it was Luis Garcia and the Astros bullpen riding it out.
That's right.
So both of these games were just whoever struck early.
Pretty much. I mean, it was kind of just whoever ran away with it in the first few innings.
Yeah, pretty much. Like you said, we didn't learn much. We did not learn much from these
couple of
games.
interesting StatCast related things. I guess this isn't a StatCast thing, but Framber Valdez's BABIP against ungrounded balls, especially the amount of 100-mile-an-hour balls hit by both teams in Game 1. Game 2 was probably, I guess, less interesting as far as stuff like that. Game 1 had a hard hit rate above 50%.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
That was pretty cool.
both games?
No, just Game 1.
Oh, Game 1. They both
Yeah.
had hard hit rates of
Like they combined, yeah.
50%.
They combined for Game 2, it was 34.8%.
Yeah, that's like major league average. So yeah,
The max exit velocity. Oh, never mind.
it's like really.
The max pitch velocity, not exit velocity.
Yeah,
It was 90. So it was the last pitch of the game from Kendall Graveman
that's really impressive for both teams to have 50% hard hit rates.
in a single game,
In
and
a single game.
especially in a 6-2 game.
Yeah.
Like it's like, oh, that must have been like 12-10. No.
Right. Everything was just driven into the ground.
Yeah. No.
So yeah, those were the first 2 games of the series. I mean, so I guess now we kind of outlook how the next 3 are gonna go.
Mhm.
Because that's gonna be Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Halloween weekend also. Not that that's important, but it is happening.
Yeah.
So our probable starters for Game 3 on Friday, if it will load up, we got. Or wait, no. Okay. Just a little ARR correction here. Luis Garcia did not start Game 2. I said Luis Garcia.
Yeah.
Did.
I completely flew over my head too. I
It
was
was-
like, oh. I was like, I'm gonna correct him at the end of the sentence, and I forgot to.
It was Jose Urquidy.
Hmm.
And I guess it's because I wasn't associating Jose Urquidy with success, which is my fault. All he does is succeed. That
Yeah.
6-run outing,
Yep.
that was a blip in the radar. So
And
it's
it
good.
was same with the first one before that, right? One
Um,
against the White Sox.
yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone has like 2 or 7 bad starts in a row. Sometimes. So Luis Garcia is going to be starting in this upcoming game against Ian Anderson.
Yep.
2 guys that are going to be in their respective Rookie of the Year races.
Yeah, I'll talk about the Astros going against Ian Anderson. If there's one thing you need to know about Ian Anderson, it's that he's going to throw his changeup a lot. It's his primary pitch. It's his most effective pitch. It's one of the more effective pitches in baseball. So, the Astros, they're familiar. This year, they led the majors in batting average against, WOBA against, and were second in the league in slugging against changeups. So they hit that particular type of pitch very well. If you're Ian Anderson, the key to the game is locating. Like you're gonna have to throw every ball where you want it to be, because if you make a mistake, this team will punish you.
Yeah. But yeah. So, okay, can you repeat those stats on the Astros versus changeups? I'm
Absolutely.
sorry.
So the Astros this year hit 265 against changeups. They had a 452 slugging, and they had a 325 WOBA. All of those led the majors except for their slugging, in which they were second. So if you're Ian Anderson, you're going to be throwing your changeup a lot. It's a pitch that the Astros hit very well. You're going to need to locate on that. Location's going to have to be picture perfect.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they're going to punish.
Yeah, 265 average on a changeup is pretty rare because usually that's
The
something.
league average was 237.
Yeah, usually that's something that can really contain an offense, but with the Astros, not really the case. But I feel like they were able to really hit all the pitches.
I mean, yeah, but we're talking like best team in the league against changeups.
That is true.
Especially this is a team that Ian Anderson has never faced before, because he hasn't had the chance to. This is probably the first time he's going to face a team from the AL West, now that I'm thinking about it. Right?
Right.
Yeah.
Because he wouldn't have last year, definitely not.
And he shouldn't have this year.
Yeah, because they were facing the East again.
Yep.
So yeah. So anyway, those were the first 2 games. Jeez, what is happening here?
What are we doing?
What is happening here? I got Killingworth, Connecticut trying to call me. Decline.
Classic Killingworth.
Killingworth, the home of Camille Kostek.
Don't know who that is.
Where she grew up. That's Rob Gronkowski's girlfriend.
Oh, okay.
Who's also like a Sports Illustrated model.
Cool.
So, yeah, that'll be Game 3. You got Luis Garcia versus Ian Anderson. Ian Anderson might have to be a little more careful on the changeup than normal. And then Game 4 is TBD and Game 5 is TBD. We don't really know. Like those games are so unpredictable. Both of them.
Mm-hmm.
because you don't even know what Framber's going to be doing. We've seen
Yeah,
many sides of Framber.
we have seen many sides of Framber. I mean, I think that was kind of the flukiest Framber start we've ever seen.
Yeah.
I do think he's going to turn it around and be better.
Yep.
Because, I mean, everything else he did pretty well. Like, I don't think, to my knowledge, I don't think he was walking people. He was still throwing strikes. Obviously, the 2 home runs were bad. Like, that was the problem. Those were 2 missed pitches. All 3 of the extra base hits were missed locations for sure.
Yep.
But other than that, like, he got, when he did get the ground balls, they just didn't go his way. And that's something that you can't assume is going to happen.
Right. That's true. So, and in terms of where we're at predicting, I feel like we're kind of at where we thought the series would be at.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I don't think it really changed how we see the series playing out.
I mean, I guess the only big change is Charlie Morton no longer being available.
Right. Yeah, that's true. That's a big thing. So, like, we're likely going to be seeing a Game 6. We're likely going to be recording here on Monday, talking about future games as well.
Yeah.
But that's a scary possibility that, like,
Oh wow. Okay. So
our next episode we don't talk about any future games.
who knows? Luis Garcia is also going to be facing an NL East team for the first time as well. So this is a matchup of entirely new faces. Like, it's hard to tell what to expect
Yeah.
from these two.
Well, Luis Garcia is also on the Nationals.
Yeah, that's true. And he's on the Cardinals.
And he played in 1999 and 2002 also.
There's so many Luis Garcias.
There's 5 Luis Garcias in MLB history, which is, like, I don't think there's any other name like it.
No,
I
not
know-
even like what?
I know there's 2 Pedro Martinez's. There's the obvious one, and
There's
then
2 Joe Smiths. If there's 2 Joe Smiths, what are we even doing? Trying to look for another more common name. Not only that, but like 3 active players with the same name too.
Yeah, unbelievable. I feel like one of them might be one of the pair might be actually related, but they don't talk about it.
I mean, I feel like it would say so on Baseball Reference.
I just,
Imagine it says like Luis Garcia related to her brother of Luis Garcia.
yeah, I just remember that story with Rougned Odor.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he has like a brother also named Rougned Odor. I think he has like 2 sisters with the same name. I think his dad is also Rougned Odor.
Yeah, and it was like it helped him out with lying if he could lie about his age so he could be more valuable.
Right. Who was there was another one. Oh, it was Luis Basabe. The 2 former Red Sox prospects. There was like a Luis Alejandro and a Luis Alexander. Yeah. I want to say there was another one though,
Dang,
but I can't think of it right now.
that's crazy. That's crazy stuff.
I remember there was a guy who played for the Brewers like as a September call-up in 2014 or something. His name was Nevin Ashley, and his wife's name was Ashley, so her name became Ashley.
That's
Yeah.
funny.
That was a cool one. Yeah,
That's-
he played 12 games for the Brewers. He got 3 hits, drove in a run. Yeah. We won't talk about the rest of it. It's not important.
That's pretty funny of how that works out.
Yep.
Fun name talk.
Absolutely.
It's I mean,
How did we go from Luis because Luis Garcia.
Yeah,
obviously.
because of all the Luis Garcias.
Yeah.
So, like, I guess he has faced NL East teams because he's also in the Nationals as a second baseman on the side. He's a much better pitcher than position player. We'll say that
Yeah.
because he pitches for 2 teams also. We can't forget about that. So yeah, Luis Garcia, he's facing an NL East team.
They're
for the
all
first
pitchers
time.
too.
I
I think, right?
think the Nationals one is a second baseman, and then
Oh, okay.
unless I'm wrong.
The Nationals. It's hard clicking this on Baseball Reference because they just don't. It's because they both debuted the same year.
Yeah, in 2020.
In 2020,
I mean, how 2020 is that? You got
you
2
just got
guys.
a million Luis Garcias.
You just got 2.
Okay, yeah, he is a second baseman. He's from New York.
Nice.
Oh wow, he was born 9 days before I was.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
He's way older than you.
He's way older than me. He's got much more life experience than me.
Yeah. You still got time.
Exactly. 9 days older.
You still got time. You and another Daniel Curran
Yeah.
still have time to make it to the big leagues.
We were born in the same state too.
That's great. So yeah, we got Luis Garcia, Ian Anderson.
Luis Garcia is the son of one of the Luis Garcias, the one who played in 1999.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right. We got some lineage now.
We do.
There we go.
Father of Luis. It literally says father of Luis Garcia.
They
on
better-
Luis Garcia. This guy was also a second baseman. Heck yeah, he played for the 1999 Detroit Tigers.
They better all have multiple sons named Luis Garcia that make it to the major leagues.
Yeah.
We need that.
The notable 1999 Tigers that went 69 and 92. They had Brad Ausmus with 3.4
My
BWAR
buddy, Brad
leading their
Ausmus.
team. Your buddy, yeah. Friend of yours. They had Juan Encarnacion. Oh, they had Gabe Kapler. Cool. They had Juan Encarnacion. They had a different guy named Nelson Cruz. who was in his age 26. I don't know. I feel like Nelson Cruz was 26 in 1999. That makes sense.
Yeah, that would make him 40.
He also was he also happened to be a pitcher.
Yeah, you know
Another
what?
guy named
Fine.
Nelson Cruz.
Fine. Nelson Cruz is 48 and he's lying about it.
Yeah, I believe it. Why not?
Yeah. This is great.
He also used to be a pitcher. He threw for 348 innings, 348 in the third innings to a 93 ERA plus. And to be fair, 9.5 hits per 9 for his career. I mean, get BABIP'd.
Oh yeah.
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 Yep.
Yeah. So some lineage has been discovered on Above Replacement Radio. Yeah, so I guess Game 4 and Game 5, we just don't know. We just don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, Framber should be better, but we have no idea what the Braves are going to bring out. We both would agree this series is probably going back to Houston, right?
I would hope so.
Yeah, me too. I don't
Yeah.
see a way that... I guess I see more a way the Astros can sweep than the Braves can sweep. And by sweep, I mean the next 3 games.
Yeah.
But I still don't see the Astros.
I mean,
pulling 3 in a row
the
off.
Braves haven't lost a home playoff game all year.
That's right. They're
5-0.
5-0.
Because they swept the Brewers at home, and they won the first 2 and Game 6 against the Dodgers.
And they've been a good crowd.
Yeah.
They have been.
I'm going to say Braves 2 out of 3.
Braves 2 out of 3?
Yeah, I think they get Game 3, and then they find a way to steal one of the other 2.
Yeah, I'll just say Astros 2 out of 3 because it just follows what I had originally. Both of ours are probably going to follow.
So as
what
long
we
as
had
there
originally.
isn't a sweep, one of us nailed it.
Yeah, that's correct. That is correct.
Unless
Braves in 6.
well, yeah, but I mean like for this
In terms of
or Astros in 7.
Yep.
Can't nail that. Unless like there's like 3-game sweep, or unless like the Braves lose Game 3 and then win 4 and 5.
Mm-hmm. Right. So yeah. So we got 3 games coming up. Hopefully, when we come back on Monday, we are still talking about future games.
Mm-hmm.
That would be good. That would be very good. And then our last episode talking about games that just happened would be episode 162.
Which would be perfect.
Which would be perfect.
Yeah.
Would be perfect. So in other news, something we didn't get to last episode because the last episode was already an hour and a half, and we figured, this is, we can wait on this one. The Cardinals hired 35-year-old Oliver Marmol, who was their former bench coach before Mike Shildt got fired. And I mean, I don't know. It's hard to when you hear a 35-year-old gets hired as manager, you automatically assume that this is going to be like a new school guy, but it doesn't necessarily mean that. And also, new school doesn't always necessarily mean good. Like, new school usually leads to more success, but sometimes it doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
What were your initial thoughts?
I've had a lot of time to sit with this because when Mike Shildt got fired, they said that they were going through a philosophical change in the organization. So I automatically assumed that meant they were hiring from outside the organization. They were going to bring someone else in who was going to bring something to the table that wasn't already there. That's not what they did. They hired their bench coach, but I kind of like this move. You know, he's like you said, 35 years old. He's been in the Cardinals organization since 2007. He was a 6th round pick in the 2007 draft. Never made it to the majors, but he played 262 games for them in the minors between ages 20 and 23. So this is a guy who's stuck around, like even though, you know, he never made it there, and I'm happy he's finally getting a chance to have the spotlight.
Yeah, this is a good story, and I mean it's good because also, like, we have a chance because of his age. Like, we have a chance if he does very well, he could be like a very big like legacy manager, like going from age 35 to
68
to 70 if he really wants to. But
who knows?
I don't think baseball's really like that anymore.
No. Because the industry is just constantly changing.
Exactly.
Staying with one guy is mostly not going to work unless they can adapt.
Yeah, I love in 20 years there's gonna be people like, wow, you still look at like
OPS?
you still look at OPS.
Seriously, dude? Don't you know there's league adjustments for that?
Yeah. Don't you know it's like absolutely 100% perfected now?
There was actually a very dumb argument made against OPS or for OPS recently. Where did you see when Pete Rose had those comments about Joey Gallo?
No, I didn't.
Pete Rose had these comments about Joey Gallo where he was like, this guy strikes out 213 times a year. Like, I don't know what I'd do with myself if I struck out 213 times a year. And then someone cited that Joey Gallo had a higher career OPS than Pete Rose.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, oh, yes, the guy who played in the 70s and 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I think Pete Rose had a higher OPS plus.
I know Pete Rose's career
Maybe he
OPS
didn't.
plus was like 118, I think.
Exactly that. Joey Gallo's is probably more than that.
I don't know.
It's 114. Okay, never mind.
Yeah. Yeah, like, I don't know. I think Bobby Abreu had a higher OPS than Hannes Wagner, but
That's funny that's so funny.
but Bobby Abreu played in the 90s and Hannes Wagner played in the dead ball era.
That's incredible.
Yeah, because I think Bobby Abreu was 870 and
Yeah.
Wagner was like 858.
Yeah.
I think. But but that's where we, OPS is great. And
To be fair, Bobby Abreu should be a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, and I agree that OPS
Is dumb when comparing eras.
it's done when comparing eras, but I still like it just looking at like
Yeah.
2021
Exactly.
leaderboards,
Like
yeah.
if we're looking at modern day, I think it's fine. But if you're gonna be like, oh, Pete Rose, you're gonna make these comments about Joey Gallo, he's a better hitter than you, man. No, actually, he's not.
It's like,
He
yeah,
really
nah.
isn't.
He's but the difference isn't as much as most people would probably think.
No, I mean there is like obviously different play styles.
Yeah. Like, yeah, Rose was the on base guy. Gallo, I guess, is still an on base guy, but slugging. Like,
Yeah.
in terms of OPS, his slugging is weighted more.
Yep.
And Rose's OBP is weighted more in the in OPS.
Yes.
But back to subject at hand. It was funny seeing that it's a philosophical change, but they're just going with the next guy down.
Yeah. And I still think there can be a change. I mean, like we don't know what was going on in the clubhouse. Maybe Mike Schilt was rejecting some advice. I don't know. I mean, we can't know as of right now.
Yeah.
But I mean, this does seem a lot different.
Yeah, probably. And they probably had him as the bench coach for a reason, so that if we don't like Schilt, we have him.
Yeah.
We have him now.
I didn't see any other reports of like people they interviewed. And the news kind of came out of nowhere. Like, I'm very curious as to what their interview process was like. Because, like, with you're hearing the Padres and Mets right now. Like, the Padres are interviewing. They just interviewed Ozzie Guillen. Like, they've interviewed Luis Rojas. Like, they got names coming in and out. Same thing with the Mets. I didn't hear anything with the Cardinals.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I mean, I just sticking in the organization. It's interesting for sure.
Yeah.
But I feel like if they didn't interview anybody, they are extremely confident in what they have with Ollie Marmol.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see. I mean, this is the youngest manager I've seen maybe in like my lifetime.
Yeah, I mean, like, the Cardinals' average age as a team was probably close to
Yeah.
Close to that. Like
Yeah.
Adam Wainwright is going to be 5 years older than his manager.
Yeah.
Yadier Molina is going to be older than his manager. Let's see, how many players did the Cardinals have that were 35 and older last year?
Yeah, we had Happ, Lester, Wainwright, Yachty, and
Okay, wow. There was Matt Carpenter, Andrew Miller, Wade LeBlanc, Brandon Dixon, John Lester, Yadier Molina, Jay Happ, and Adam Wainwright.
is that 7 guys?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
8.
8 guys.
8 guys older than the manager.
That's crazy.
That's like 1/3 of the team.
Yeah.
A good Bono moment. That's about 1/3 of the team.
It's about 1/3 of the 25-man roster.
26.
Yeah, 26.
Gotta get used to that. When did they make that change? Last year?
I think it was like a few years ago. Maybe they made it in 2020 because of COVID. They were like, hey, you can stick one more. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I think it was when they ended September call-ups.
Yeah.
I think that was after 2019.
Yeah, and I think they were gonna do it anyway without COVID.
Yeah, because I remember Bob Nightingale on August 31st. He was like, well, this is the last September. And everyone was like, okay, they'll have it in next year.
So yeah, Ollie Marmol, hired by the
Yeah.
Cardinals. I guess we'll close out with talking about our favorite social media man,
Oh, yeah.
who's becoming our favorite social media man, is Mr. Fundamentals himself.
Plays the
Alex
game the right way.
Rodriguez. Yeah, the only way I saw Alex Rodriguez score or produce runs was ground balls through the hole.
Ground balls through the hole, bunting, moving guys over.
Yeah, man on second, nobody out. He's just grounding to second.
He's the guy who played the game the right way.
Yes, that's all I hear about him.
Yeah.
That's what that documentary Screwball was all about.
Yep.
Was how he played the right way.
Yeah, just how admirable he was.
Do you have those
as a figure? Yes.
Do you have his tweets pulled
yes.
up?
There was one. There was one in particular from last night. It was about that Astros second inning we mentioned. There was some bad bippery going on.
Yeah, for reference, Alex Rodriguez he's one of the there's a whole crew of people that I guess Alex Rodriguez has joined, in that anytime something bad happens in baseball, that's analytics.
Yeah, analytics is when something bad happens.
And something good happens for your team, that's the anti-analytical approach.
Yep.
It
was.
And analytics is it doesn't mean anything. It just.
Yeah, the second inning for the Astros was the anti-analytic inning. Making contact, beating the shift, and doing it with some low exit velo. Impressive. 5 singles, keeping the lead to 4 runs for the Astros.
Yeah, low exit.
Keep
If
the
you're
line
getting
moving.
if you're getting hits on low exit velo ground balls, it means you're getting lucky.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say. No hitter is up there saying,
I really hope I can hit a squibber through the hole.
Yeah, no one's they got a 98-mile-per-hour fastball coming at them. They can't compute
Yeah, that's
dividing.
that's the thing, man. That's the thing. This pitch is not it's that when the people that complain about hitters only swing for the fences. So it's do you want a slap hit on a 98-mile-an-hour fastball where you can not even see it?
Yeah.
The only thing you can do is swing as hard as you can, because that's your best bet on making contact that isn't a foul ball or a pop-up or a weak grounder.
Yeah, no one in the history of baseball has done the geometry of trying to divide the first base and second base hole in half.
The only person you can make that case for is Ted Williams, who A, was a believer in launch angle, and B, what was the fastest pitch he ever saw? 94 miles an hour?
Probably.
It was a flamethrower.
He was
He faced Bob Feller, maybe?
Yeah, Bob Feller, probably, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. He probably saw, he never saw anything above 95, probably.
How are you supposed to swing for a ground ball? What does that look? I'm trying to envision, what does that look like? What does not swing for the fences look like against a 98-mile-an-hour fastball?
I mean, I don't want, it's a good sport, obviously, but it looks like softball, probably, slap hitting.
Yeah.
Like Ichiro Suzuki.
Ichiro. Okay, that is probably an exception. But
we've mentioned Ichiro I mentioned. I think we were talking about how
But Ichiro was just ridiculously fast.
we were talking about
Yeah.
how like how we were talking about Framber, and eventually I talked about how like yeah. There's certain guys where you can specialize like that. Like Framber Valdez can specialize in getting ground balls. Ichiro could specialize in getting infield singles, but you're not going to tell Adam Dunn to do the
Yeah.
exact same thing.
Yep.
You can't tell any hitter in baseball to just get ground balls through the hole or infield singles.
Yeah, no, except for like those exceptions. Yeah.
Like A-Rod, how did you hit? How did you get
Yeah.
a career 930 OPS or something, or
Yeah.
however you got it?
Surely you don't have the 4th highest home run total of all time.
My God, why do you think you were better than everybody? Why do you think you got two $200 million contracts? Was it because you were hitting it through the hole, or was it because you were hitting 40 home runs a year and like
As a shortstop.
As a shortstop.
Yeah. Like the position that is actually known for hitting the ball on the ground, weak contact, strong defense.
Yeah. What makes it more hilarious is that it's not just some like random
Yeah.
52-year-old dad who like played varsity high school. It's one of the greatest power hitters of all time.
It's mind-blowing. And he owns a franchise.
Yeah.
He owns a professional sports franchise in an entire sports world where people are going to analytics.
Yeah. Like the only thing, like the biggest improvements every team is making is their analytical department.
Yeah.
Like that's what the Giants won 107
Yeah, surely
games.
surely the Giants had 5 guys over the age of 33 with a slugging percentage above 500 because they got slap hits through the middle.
Yeah. Surely a team that looked like it was going down the drain a few years ago. Certainly they didn't hire a new GM who took control of the analytical department
Literally.
that revitalized the team and made like Buster Posey one of the best catchers in baseball in the
Again.
year 2021.
With everything he's been through with his injuries.
Yeah,
Like,
he's
surely
he's a catcher and he's in his mid-30s and he's having like one of the best seasons of his career.
in a career that has had some really good seasons, including a most
And-
valuable player award.
An MVP season.
Yeah.
A season where he was the catcher on a Rookie of the Year season too. Seasons in which 3 of them ended in World Series championships as a catcher. It's hilarious. It's funny every time.
It gets like it's every single time he'll say something that you can just refute in like 3 seconds.
Yeah, I just love I love that Big Poppy hasn't gone on. He's never brought up like the anti-analytics. I think he's just having fun.
No, that's exactly what he's there to do.
Yeah.
He'll
Just
give
be
like
that
he'll give
guy.
like swing analysis and stuff, but he's there to have fun, man.
Right.
Like, that's exactly what that broadcast is for.
Yeah. It's
The funniest thing ever was before the Field of Dreams game when it was the White Sox and Yankees and they had Frank Thomas, A-Rod, and Big Poppy making their predictions. It's like, man, I wonder who each of them is gonna pick to win the game. I wonder who Frank Thomas is gonna pick to win White Sox Yankees. I wonder who A-Rod's gonna pick to win White Sox Yankees. I wonder who David Ortiz is going to pick in a game that the Yankees are playing in. I wonder what that's gonna happen.
Yeah. It's funny how they just have their own.
Like 3
Well-
people with a bias.
Yeah, I mean that was the playoffs this year. We had a White Sox. Yeah, we had and those games were on Fox. The AL teams. We had a White
Yep.
Sox series. We had a Red Sox series. So the same formula. Yeah, A-Rod's a funny guy on Twitter, unintentionally, obviously.
He's funny for the wrong reasons.
Um,
It's so horribly ironic. He probably has no idea. I mean, he definitely has an idea, but like, he knows. Like, I had a tweet as a joke where I was like, A-Rod's gonna not go into the Hall of Fame and think it's because I hit too many home runs and didn't bunt enough.
Oh my God.
It starts this year, baby.
Right. Yeah. It does. Yeah. We have him on the ballot. Omar Vizquel had more sacrifice
That's
hits.
why. Look at why Omar Vizquel got a higher percentage of the vote than I did.
It's because I think he led in sacrifice hits 4 times or something.
And that's the only thing he ever led in.
Yeah.
Not even anything defensive related.
Let's look up Omar.
Yeah, I know that page by heart, man. He absolutely only led in sacrifice hits 4 times.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3.
And
4.
nothing else is bold on the page.
Nothing else. And he didn't even lead in shortstops in D-War ever.
Yeah.
Not that you could find that on a reference page, but like manually. You
But
look it up.
we've done the research.
Yeah, we did it.
Yeah.
Deep in quarantine. That was like
If you're just tuning into the show and you're pro Omar Vizquel, you need to log off now.
no, log in, learn, and go to our Hall of Fame case for and against
Omar Vizquel.
Omar
And there
Vizquel.
was a case for. We
There
did address a case for. Then we completely dismantled it.
Yeah, that was one where we went in with pretty heavy bias.
Yeah.
Against our bubble case, if you will.
Yeah.
All right, so I guess that does it for the 160th installment of Above Replacement Radio. By the way, this is the 80th episode as Above Replacement Radio. We
Tying.
did 80 as show to be named later, so we have tied the record.
We have.
So we'll have a new name.
We're 80 and 80.
We'll have a new name by next episode.
Yes, we will.
No, we're not going to be doing that again. But we have, so we'll be passing that next episode, unless the world comes crashing down and we can't do one. So we hope you enjoyed this one. If you want to follow us on social media, follow me on Twitter at Chris_Gianta. Follow Daniel on both Twitter and Instagram at Daniel_Curran, and follow the show Instagram at Above Replacement Radio for all the show needs. And we hope you enjoyed this one, and we hope to see you on Monday talking about games 3, 4, and 5, and potentially, just potentially
though,
game 6. So we will see you then.
This conversation is over.